Are you moving into a new house or you're starting a renovation and you feel overwhelmed by the costs? I mean, you're not alone. This is not your typical splurge versus save video. You guys know exactly how to spend your money, but in today's video, I will share how I allocate my budget during my renovation and the best advice that I give to my clients when they are starting a brand new project of their own. I know what you want. You want what I want. You want your regular old home to look expensive, and here's exactly how you do it. From tactile luxury to visual fillers, let's build your dream home without breaking the bank. We're focusing on visual ROI here, people, because unlike my clients, we are working on a very limited budget. There is an art to balancing investment pieces with budget-friendly, quiet luxury details in a home. When you buy an older house, interior design related costs go far beyond decorations and decor, as most of you know. A lot of your budget goes to the layout, the infrastructure, the hidden costs that you see behind the walls, even before we get to the pretty finishes.
Today I'm partnering with Quince, one of my favorite places to shop for what I like to call quiet luxury on a smart mom budget. Quince is a direct-to-consumer brand that focuses on high-quality fabrics like silk, cashmere, wool, and linen, but without the traditional retail markups. So you're getting that designer look and feel at a fraction of the price. What I really appreciate as a designer is their focus on elevated basics that actually feel considered. The cuts are clean, the colors are sophisticated, and the pieces mix and match effortlessly into my home. I also love that Quince works directly with factories and uses a direct-to-consumer model, so they can offer products that feel luxe at 50 to 80% less than what you'd normally see in designer boutiques. Like this cotton cashmere long sleeve dress that's polished enough for client meetings, but still comfortable enough to live in all day. The Sullivan runner is hand-tufted from 100% wool, you guys. I'm placing this in my hallway, and now that I see it here, I want to change up the entire color story. It's so good. I'm using the Canon hand-tufted rug near the back where my French doors are. The patterns are subtle, the palettes are soft, and both rugs ground the rooms without screaming for attention. For home, you know I'm always layering natural texture and warm neutrals. I picked up this black rattan bowl and matching large tray. They're perfect styled on a coffee table or a kitchen island. I've been using them to corral everyday items, and they instantly make even clutter feel intentional and designed. And then a little luxury moment in the kitchen, the essential Japanese Damascus utility knife. It's small but mighty and an absolute beast in the kitchen. So if you're building a home and a wardrobe that feels considered and luxurious without paying full designer prices, Quince is definitely worth exploring. Thank you to Quince for sponsoring today's video.
I want to take you through a visual roadmap of the most common categories that interior designers and homeowners budget for, especially before embarking on a brand new design. Okay, first we've got space planning and layout changes. Older homes often have smaller rooms or an outdated flow. I am currently living in a 1955 mid-century ranch. I gotta tell you, as much as I love all of the architectural detailings that are inherent in my home, you know, I have vaulted ceilings, I have so many windows. The natural light in here is absolutely magnificent, but the flow is actually horrific, okay? Be prepared to remove or add walls. You know, maybe you want an open concept plan. You want to have visibility from the kitchen into the living area. You might want to enlarge a bathroom or add more storage space or closets. I did all of that in my existing home. So I knew that the home that I was going to look for next had to have a natural flow that I was absolutely obsessed with. I mean, it took us 2+ years to find this house, but I feel like the layout, the floor plan was exactly what I was manifesting. You may want to enlarge a bedroom or a bathroom, create more storage and organization with built-ins or closets. You know, you may want to create a really impactful landing zone upon entering the home with like a mud room. In my current home, I don't even have a dedicated laundry room. It's actually right behind the curtains here. It's a very small space, just enough for a washer, dryer, some cubbies, and I house some of my vacuums there as well. You know, a typical cost range for some of these minor tweaks could be between like $5,000 or $20,000. But if you're really getting into removing some walls and adding new rooms, structural changes and engineering could start at like $20,000 and go all the way up into like the 6 figures. This is usually the largest expense in an older home. We are talking about a kitchen renovation. This is exactly the phase that I'm in right now, and really why I lost my voice. I've been remodeling our kitchen, okay? And it's not just like a full gut run out. It's like I'm piecemealing it. I'm doing it in phases because I have a budget to work with. Normally I could start with the design and I'm like, okay, here's my ultimate wish list. I want to raise the roof. I want to open the ceiling. I want to create these like false beams. I want to add all of this decorative flourishes and finishes. We just cannot do this in my home because of the budget that I'm working with. But I will tell you what I am prioritizing. I want new cabinetry. I want new countertops. We've got new appliances that I'm currently shopping for. I also have a little bit of a lighting redesign. But before we even get into the finishes, a typical cost structurally for you to make some of these changes in a kitchen usually starts at about $30,000-$40,000, okay? It's not cheap. I'm also replacing all of the existing finishes from the ceiling, the walls, to the flooring. A typical cost range for a basic kitchen renovation could start anywhere between $30,000 and it runs all the way up to six figures. I have clients that spend a couple $100,000 on a brand new kitchen design, okay? And that's just a very small fraction of their overall budget. But a lot of the clients, I'm also working with new builds as well. Next up is those old dated bathrooms. Older homes often need complete full updates. Take, for example, the 3 bathrooms that I have in my home that I need to address. Luckily, the layouts are totally working for me, but I do need some plumbing updates in terms of new toilets and fixtures. I need new tile, new vanity. A typical cost range of renovating a full bathroom starts anywhere from $15,000 and it can go upwards into the $50,000 or $60,000 range. I know, for one tiny bathroom, okay? I've got 3 bathrooms. Do the math, okay? So I am not prioritizing the bathrooms, but next up, let's talk about flooring replacements. If you bought an older home, you may have worn hardwood. You're lucky if you have hardwood at all. You might even have uneven subfloors. You might have really old dated carpet. The cost to update the flooring depends on your choice of finishes. You have so many different choices, but for me, I always like to go with a natural finish. These costs can include refinishing your existing hardwood. You may want a completely new floor that's made out of natural stone or porcelain ceramic tile, or you might want to go the engineered wood route. But remember, before you even get to those pretty finishes, you have to level those floors. The existing floors in my home are completely multi-level. I can't even think about that yet, okay? Be prepared to spend a minimum of $10 a square foot for demo and installation of your new flooring. Okay, let's talk about lighting and electrical updates. A majority of older homes always have insufficient lighting. I definitely know in my mid-century home, I probably outfitted the entire home in a combination of recessed lights, wall sconces, and strategic pendants throughout the home. You always want to prioritize the general lighting first, right? Anything that generally lights the area. And then we want to talk about decorative fixtures. Smart lighting systems are really important as well because I have the entire home integrated with Alexa. So I can kind of walk around my house and be like, hey, Alexa, turn bedroom lights on. When I first purchased this house 10 years ago, a smart home with technology upgrades was almost like a want for me. But now that I have been living in here for over a decade, that's an absolute must. So allocating my budget for smart home upgrades is a no-brainer for me. Electrical panel upgrades are often required as well. I made the swap from my old electrical panel to my new one and it cost $5,000, and that's not including the permits as well. So you definitely want to factor that in if you're purchasing an older home, let's say from anything before the 90s. Isn't that crazy how I'm referencing anything before the 90s as old? It just makes us Zillennials and millennials feel even older than we are. Okay, let's just not talk about that. Okay, next up we've got built-ins and custom millwork. As an interior designer, I survey the space and the first thing I think about is functionality, right? How do you use the home? How do you aspire to use the home? I want to create these little pockets of joy with customizations and built-ins that feel like a natural extension of how you live daily. There's so many places that you can add custom millwork, right? We've got closets, we've got kitchens, we have utility areas, you've got the laundry room. You might want bookshelves, window seats, wall paneling, media walls, entertainment systems. So think about how to streamline your flow and the functionality of your space and how you aspire to use it before you start with these customizations, which to me is less of a need and more of a want. Typical range for a very small built-in can start at a few $1,000s, you guys, and goes all the way up to the tens of thousands depending on the application and the room that it's in. Okay, let's talk window treatments. Pure functionality, you need something on the windows, okay? We want to be able to control the light output, the privacy. Every room has different needs. What you need in the kitchen is not going to apply to a private bedroom or even a bathroom. Sometimes it does, but most often it does not. I pretty much customize a different treatment for every single room in the home. You have everything from custom drapery to motorized shades to Roman shades to hardware. A typical cost range for new window treatments can start at a few $1,000s for DIY options, and it can go all the way up to the tens of thousands to completely furnish and treat an entire full house. Moving on to interior finishes and surface updates. As a professional designer, materiality is probably the most exciting phase for clients, but we're like number 8 on the list by this point, okay? There are so many other things that I have to prioritize as your interior designer before we even get to the fancy finishes. But these often make for the biggest visual transformation in the home. So I understand why everyone wants to see it first, right? Who doesn't love like a major before and after transformation? We're talking about paint, like a whole house repaint, maybe wallpaper, maybe finish panels. You've got trim upgrades like baseboards, door casing, window casing, ceiling molding, panel molding, crown molding. I mean, there's a lot that happens in a brand new house design, and depending on your style, these extras can cost anywhere from like $10,000 all the way up to 50, 60, 70, 80,000. I know it sounds crazy, but this is what people spend money on, you guys. Okay, now once the renovations are done, that's when we jump into the furnishings. Okay, you've got furniture, rugs, lighting, artwork, accessories. This is like last. So I know this is an interior design channel. You're focused on seeing pretty spaces, but I want to teach you where to splurge, where to save, because there is a rule in interior design. And the rule is you have to budget for all of those hidden costs that professional designers know to prioritize first. We're talking about asbestos, like that popcorn ceiling I just got removed, or even lead paint remediation. You've also got HVAC relocation, especially if there's some layout changes and you have to relocate the heating, air conditioning, ventilation as well. Insulation upgrades. Nobody talks about insulation. Okay, I opened up my attic and it's one of those things where like I love construction. And I think that's how I knew I wanted to be an interior designer. Yes, everyone loves to go out and like buy furniture and look at materials and weed through all of those beautiful samples. But to me, anyone can make a space look pretty. But how many can solve your problem in not only an aesthetic way, but an aspirational, functional way? I love a good challenge. And then of course, you gotta get a permit for all of this, okay? When is a building permit required? A good rule of thumb is that if you're making any changes to electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing lines, you absolutely need to secure a permit for it. If you're adding a room, if you're removing a room, if you're adding a wall, you're removing a wall, you will always need a permit for that. When is a permit not needed? If you're painting, if you're wall covering, if you're swapping out a light fixture that has the exact same electrical output, if you're swapping out a sink fixture or a faucet and you're not changing anything with the plumbing lines, you generally don't need a building permit for that. That's what we consider a cosmetic change. You always want to check with your local city codes because they vary by location. So the hidden costs, what's it really going to cost you? It's typically about 10 to 25% of the overall budget. I'm actually breaking up my renovation into phases based on my budget, and here's where we're starting first. My top priority when embarking on any new design is always function first. And in this case, I need a working functional kitchen, you guys. These are the 3 things that you need to prioritize. The layout. You want to make sure that you have an optimal flow and that the kitchen functions exactly as you use it. After that, it's time for you to shop for your appliances, because once you have all your appliances in place and then you've measured everything out, you know exactly how to lay out all of your cabinetry and the millwork to support it. And then of course you can update those finishes as you need. To me, like, finishing is very personal. You know, you really have to have a preference. I love natural stone in the kitchen, but someone else can want a manufactured, man-made material because they want ease of maintenance. So think about that when you're designing your kitchen. Here's where you splurge. You splurge on the appliances, the countertops, the fixtures, and the hardware. This is what I call tactile luxury. Things that you can touch and you handle daily. The cost per wear of that is going to be minimal based on everything else that you're kind of just pretty to look at. You can save on the visual fillers, the flooring, the cabinets, the interior shelving, the wall finishes, the ceiling treatments. If you don't care for natural stone but you love the look, you can look for a ceramic or a porcelain tile that mimics the look of natural stone. So there you go. You've already saved like thousands right there. You don't have to have custom cabinetry when you can purchase cabinetry from a big box store and create customizations around the hardware. Or maybe you want to add like a cute little profile detail to the face of the cabinets. You can do that once you have the foundation set in place. I consider myself a very savvy and resourceful designer. Even though a majority of my clients are wealthy, I am not. I feel like just a regular person with a regular house, but I have high design ideas. You want to learn how to spend smart? I will teach you my ways. You want to splurge on something that you've been lusting after? Oh, honey, let me take you shopping. The theme of my renovation is really teaching you the difference between tactile splurges and visual saves. Tactile splurges, everything that you touch daily, hardware, textile. Visual saves, curated vintage, high street basics. You know, these are things that you can literally purchase in a thrift store or a flea market. You don't have to spend a lot to get that designer look. And then of course, at the crux of it all, there is a luxury detail hack aspect of it that I absolutely want to share with you. I feel like that's a core of my channel. You know, incorporating these small, inexpensive moments into your everyday lifestyle that doesn't have to cost a lot, but it feels like a little luxury because it's intentional, it's mindful, it's a dedicated practice. I know what the people want. They want, color are you choosing for the walls, Julie? What are your cabinets gonna be? Did you find a stone yet? But I'm like, hey guys, I need to spend on a new HVAC system. I need to update this pool so that my family can use it like right now. Okay, we're in March. Last week, it was like 90 degrees in Southern California and my pool looked like this. So this week, I'm spending on the pool, and originally I had this like dream. I wanted this tropical oasis, wood decking. I wanted a Baja shelf. I wanted a new water feature with like cascading water. Okay, you guys, we started adding all of this up and it was like 6 figures. And then I thought, I don't have the money for that. I don't even have a functioning kitchen. I don't even have an operating I do, but it was old, okay? The air conditioning unit was from the 70s. It's never been used because if you watch my I bought a house video, you'll know that the previous owners bought this home. It was kind of like an income property for them. They never lived in it. They also never rented it out. So all of the finishes are barely used, including the air conditioning unit. But here's something about that AC units or old units in general. They're not eco-friendly. They're not eco-conscious. And until I get these solar panels installed, I am paying for all of this electrical output, and I'm not happy about that. So I'm spending a pretty penny on updating all of the HVAC systems. Now, it doesn't stop just at the furnace itself. I'm also updating all of the registers and the grills. Okay? I want a very modern look. Those mud-in diffusers are not cheap. I'm actually going to do a deep dive into hidden costs of HVACs. Are you guys interested in that video? Comment below and let me know if yes, because there is going to be so many deep dives happening on this channel. I have been in like full research mode because I'm purchasing all new appliances for the kitchen. I'm currently testing everything from robot lawnmowers to exterior lighting to smart home upgrade. Like, I've been dying for a smart toilet. I mean, I know it sounds silly, but to me, those are those little luxury upgrades that not a lot of people see unless you put them in the guest bathroom. But to me, it's really going to enhance and elevate how I use my home on the daily. Up next, we have a full calendar of content lined up from now through my move-in date this May. Yes, you guys, you heard that right. I am moving in 2 months with a curtain home that looks like this. Call me crazy. I mean, I really lost my voice throughout this renovation. I'm also nursing like sick toddlers at home, but such is life. There comes a point in every interior designer's career where if they're lucky enough, and I am right now, they get to design a home for themselves and their family. And that is not lost on me. I mean, I could cry right now, okay, you guys, but I'm not going to. I'm going to pull it together. And I'm going to tell you to shop my Quince picks in the description box below. I want you to peruse their site. There's like so many good things on there, but not until you've allocated that budget on all those hidden costs and the things that you really need to get your home in a fully functioning order, okay? Have you ever undergone a renovation? Were you surprised at some of these costs? Where did a majority of your budget go, and what would you do differently? I would love for you guys to sound off in the comments below. I'm so excited to kickstart this renovation series. I mean, you're going to be getting pieces here and there, but that's just how construction goes. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.